Or blame it on somebody. They caused it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
so
the
what is the
basic
basic?
thing is fundamental problem, right?
Hmm.
That's what the heading is, right here.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Hmm.
So what
Not
is the
knowing
basic?
yourself. And not knowing yourself is the problem.
So simple
Understand
answer.
yourself. Yeah.
So simple, no? But so hard to know what is it. Hmm.
Now we know, but we keep forgetting about it, right?
Hmm.
In the sense you are the eternally
So we have
happy
to read
person.
again and again Gita. Though solution was also there, written there.
Yeah, so you are fundamentally you're happy and all that, you're eternal, all that stuff, right? But
So
then
when
we
we feel
always think there is so much limitedness of everything, so that makes you sad.
so when you feel sad, you must think, I am such Chit Ananda. How is that I'm sad?
The question is who is sad? That question don't remember. We don't remember also to ask ourselves.
The body is sad, the mind is
Mind
sad.
is
Yeah.
who is sad.
I am not sad. That's what I. Well, when we keep telling ourselves, hopefully it will come to us.
Yeah.
Hmm. I am
Actually,
not
I had
sad.
a question
Hmm.
Hmm.
at the time of Shreyas you were reading. So, Shreyas is a moksha or whatever self. And here it was written, I am in everyone, everything, and not in, nobody is in me. But when we
Hmm.
compare self like uh, space, so space is everywhere. Space is in all that objects or beings also. So
Hmm.
here, how the relation then equated to space and self same.
Self is as a whole, like you think self as one part. It's not. It's a whole thing. So Shreyas is the self is the whole thing. So all beings is pervaded by the self. I mean, self meaning that the big
Space.
self. Yeah,
My
Brahman.
question
Mm.
was, means self is many times equated to the space, or I am wrong. May I means I am
Yeah,
wrong.
because it's very subtle, right? So you
Mhm.
can say it's a space or light. Actually, you can't really describe in any of that, but at
Self
least
is closest to space.
space, yeah, because it's very subtle form, because you subtler form, but it's not really space either. You know, it's everything is
Self
included.
has space and all created forms. Whereas the self has no form, arupam.
Yeah.
Rupam and arupam, both are there in the self. Whereas space is just emptiness in which all the created beings are there. Not just the beings, forms, and objects, but also all these emotions are also part of that.
Can you repeat what you say again? That space and forms, rupa and arupa.
The self has got both rupa and arupa. So that
So
arupa,
no, I mean, when you say self, which is, I mean, equivalent to Brahman, right? I mean, that's what we,
yes,
right. So
yes,
that Brahman is unmanifested being. So that's what we
yes,
read
arupam.
earlier.
That is
Yeah,
arupam.
he is not manifested being. So
Hmm.
manifested being is all this, like human beings, all the beings and the objects. You can
Yeah,
call it as
rupam, nam
objects.
and nama rupa, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, with the name and form. That is
Hmm.
all the ones that you can see, that manifested beings. In the
Hmm.
manifested beings, all manifested being is pervaded by this unmanifested being. So The
Yes.
self is
Yes.
in every manifested being, but we are not in him like that. That's how. So
No.
we are depending on the this. We are
Self.
depending on the Brahman, but Brahman is not depending on us. That's what
Yeah.
we read
Yeah.
earlier. Mhm.
Yes. Correct. What is your
Sorry,
question,
I don't know.
Sarlaji?
Sarla's
Yeah,
it
I
answered.
understand that Satya, because of the Satya, everything is there. Means that
Mm,
Brahman, everything is there. But my question was the space. Space is everywhere. And in space, there is a Rupa, all everything. Okay.
right.
So
See, if we have
in
say.
space, the forms
Mm,
exist here.
Yes.
Uh, Jay
So,
Gurudev, it is
mm,
just an example given because
mm,
space is a element, right? It's like water, fire. This is one of
it's
the. This is a
takes
form,
whatever
but
form.
it is equated because it is
Mm,
pervading everywhere. That's why they just equate it as an example.
but that
Yeah.
is all. This way also you can understand Sarlaji. Say,
everything
for
in me.
example, you have a
Mm,
room, right? You have a
mm,
room. That room has several walls. If you take up all the walls, what will be their space, right?
mm.
The
Correct.
space. So
Mm,
even if you take out all the walls, the house, everything, you take it out, what will happen? Only space,
mm,
right? And then this even the pot, we they give the example of the pot. When the
mm,
pot is there is a space inside and outside, also space. So when the
mm.
pot breaks, that space kind of merges. So
Mm,
that's how we equate, like when our body, the life is gone from our, the soul is gone from our body.
mm.
When somebody dies, that that mingles with the whole space, like, right. Then which means yeah, actually we say we merge with our own, I mean, the god or divinity, right? So that's how we think, and which is what is I mean, it's, you kind of merge with the universe, or like that energy form. So that's how we cannot see. We say space, but do we see it?
No.
We kind of know that there is a
Mm,
space, right? Like when you
mm,
look into the pot also, you think that space because you can put something inside. It's empty.
mm.
When it's empty, you put something inside. So that's how like it, that's a sukshma sarira, like we can have that understanding, that information. That's what I understood, like when they talk about space.
The space and self are kind of synonymously addressed here because
Mm,
uh,
Only the
space,
vastness and unlimitedness
yeah,
because of
space
that
is
only. Yeah.
emptiness, vastness. So that way
vastness,
you
right.
understand space. But self
Mm.
is anirvachanam, that you cannot describe. Space is emptiness, whereas um, the
Okay, I
self
thought.
is
I
full. It is
Mm,
full. Space
mm,
plus all the manifested creation.
mm.
So it is, you cannot know, no? So you cannot describe the self. So the
Mm.
closest they describe, the description is Sat Chitanandam.
You remember how we read that when we read about the universe? Brahman plus Maya equals
Mm.
Ishvara. And then when you take out Ishvara, uh, sorry, uh, that something in that equation goes back. You take out the Maya part, and then there's still Brahman is there. That's how I understood.
Yeah.
It's basically unmanifested being and manifested being. That's what I would remember it. And then when you talk about
Brahman with Maya is Ishwar.
Ishvara, right? But I'm talking about when Ishvara, there is no Ishvara minus Maya, but because it's Maya only creates all that, the
Hmm.
Ishvara, right? Anyway,
Shall I
like what Sumaji
continue?
said is also correct, like in that you the whole thing, including all the universe, everything is considered. The whole thing is called as the consciousness, the whole consciousness. That's what Chat Ananda. So he exists, consciousness, and he's Ananda. So that is Chat Ananda. Now
Thank you.
we go back to our that Nirvana Satakam, Brahmajana, only everything, will help us to understand the same thing.
Okay, so I'll read, continue. Because I'm subject to sorrow is a basic problem. There is something more basic about you which
One
you.
thing that Sumaji, that Dr. Pramara said we should stop 15 minutes before so that uh, we can do Manana on the ones you read. So
Okay.
just wanted to know, like, I mean, you can read, we have some discussion, but
I'll just read up to Arjuna's surrender and then we can do Manana. It's
yeah,
only
yeah,
little 2, 3 pages, two,
yeah,
three
no
paragraphs.
problem, no problem.
So, because I'm subject to sorrow is a basic problem. There is something more basic about you which you had better know. Any small problem can be traced if you ask a few more questions. Inevitably, you will come to appreciate that there is a basic problem. If you ask the question, am I really sad? You end up reading the Gita because Gita is the answer. The answer is not something you can figure out, because if you are sad, you are sad. It is something that must be recognized. To ask what is the basis of sadness means that it is something to be understood and not a particular condition or experience. The experiences of both happiness and sorrow have always been there, one alternating with the other. Now I am sad, now I am happy. It seems, therefore, that happiness is a visitor and sadness is the person. You have to understand whether the self is subject to sorrow. Wow. What is sorrow? And so on. So we have to ask this question: is the self subject to sorrow? There is a whole gamut of questions involved here. A simple frown by someone can trigger some small pain in you. This can be traced to a fundamental self ignorance and self confusion, or at least a self question. Am I seeing myself rightly? See, these kind of questions doesn't come to us. So, am I seeing myself rightly? This kind of questioning is called Atma Vichara and is what happened in Arjuna's mind. Therefore, he told Krishna that he was his Sishya and wanted Shreyas. If you think the battlefield is not a good place for us to be in, then just drive the chariot somewhere else. Do whatever you like. I have handed over the horses and chariot to you. You decide. If you want a quiet place, drive to a quiet place. And if you think you can teach in this dim and roar, then I too can listen. I do not mind. Saying this and leaving everything to Bhagavan, Arjuna became quiet.
Can you just read only the headings that we read so far
Yeah,
today? Yeah.
yeah. The
The
basis of
basis
sorrow.
for sorrow.
Yeah.
And then
So this,
about this,
A topical
topical
becomes a fundamental problem.
problem. Yeah. So you need to ask more deeper. And he want to become sannyasa.
Yes.
Attraction to sannyasa and absolute shreyas. And then
This is what we
yesterday,
read
you, from
yesterday.
today, yeah. Yesterday we read
Relative
relative
shreyas,
shreyas. Relative shreyas is more like,
like a temporary fix.
okay.
For you treat a problem and you fix that. So that's a relative shreyas. Arjuna didn't want that because he knew that if he wins
He
the
want
war
absolute.
also, he will be sad because he won at the cost of the death of so many people. So then also
Right.
he'll be sad.
But
If he
that's almost
loses,
like that prayers, right? No, the prayers is also for security and pleasure.
yeah,
And what is
prayers.
relative shreyas is that I forgot.
Okay,
Maybe
relative
I.
shreyas. What
Mm.
is good for you at a given time may not be good for you at another time.
Oh, okay, got it. Mm. Okay,
So, like
so
curing, like you take medicine or whatever for
mm,
headache, but if you don't have headache, you don't have to take it. But you can't
right,
call it a for everything.
cure, yeah,
And Arjuna wanted a cure for the all
full
his sadness.
sorrow.
Hmm.
You want to completely out of it.
Yes, yes.
Okay, relative shreyas. Nachiketa story. Okay, this is the one you read. 9. Okay. Mhm.
So we can do Manana for today. Today's was
Mm.
absolute Shreyas. I think absolute Shreyas, everybody is clear, no, now that we must
Mm.
accept complete
Called
acceptance
moksha
of ourselves
of oneself.
without any addition, which is moksha.
Yeah.
Body, mind, everything is not part of it. It's only the self is part of Shreyas, absolute Shreyas. So that is moksha. Arjuna was asking for that. And the way he asked, because he said, I am your Sishya and you teach me. I am totally surrendered to you because my mind is in such confusion. I don't know what is right. So you tell me what is right for me.
Here we can say it is conditioned mind also again, now what we have read in the chapters ahead. So conditioned mind also makes this confusion.
Yes,
What is
correct.
right? Yeah.
Mhm. Because Arjuna got those right questions. What is the basis for my sorrow? Those kind of questions came to him. And that also triggered by Krishna telling, oh, you're like a, what is that? Napunsak, no? Or something he calls him. Don't be like a
No,
eunuch. Get
Krupana,
up and
Krupana,
fight.
Krupana, miser.
Ah, Kripana, Kripana. No, that Arjuna says, I feel like a miser. That Kripana
Correct,
says.
correct. Huh. That
Krishna
He
tells
says the
him,
eunuch,
don't be
clap,
like a
clap,
Clybium,
eunuch. Get up
clap.
and fight.
Clybium.
Libyan, yeah, yeah.
And
So
also
that
he
also
says it's
triggered
honor. Three things he says: just anarya akirtikaram,
assault.
aswargam. So it's not, you're not going to get any of this. It's not like that. It's going to cost you all this. You're not a man, straight, uh, upright man or something like that. Anarya and akirtikaram, it's not going to give you any uh, um, fame, and not Swargam, is not going to get heaven or something like that if you're not doing this.
Hmm.
Right? So those things taught him, put him in that spot. You don't act like a eunuch, you have a faint heart or weak heart, and You have to fight like that.
Yes. And by not fighting, he will not get all that. That he will get only a bad name, a kirti, all that. No. Okay. So absolute Shreyas is moksha, and then that is the self, and the self is whole. And in reality, there is nothing other than the self, and self is, Krishna says, I am in everything, and everything exists in me, but I don't exist in them. I don't depend on them for my existence. That's what he says. That is Shreyas. Then, until we get that Shreyas, we are seekers. We have to pursue that. So it becomes the goal for the search. Once you get there, then you realize you are Shreyas. So that is what Arjuna was seeking. So he didn't want ordinary Shreyas, he wanted absolute Shreyas. So that's why he said, I am your Sishya, surrendered to you, you teach me what is good for me. Then what happened after that? Krishna, Arjuna had this attraction for sannyasa because he knows that sannyasis seek moksha. And so he asked for this moksha, this Shreyas, so he could leave everything and go and live on Bhiksha because they are not interested in anything other than self knowledge.
Sannyasa leads to jnana, that knowledge,
Knowledge, yeah.
moksha.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's another reason I think he says that Bhiksha taking sannyasa would have
Mm.
Only get
and
four ashramas
taking the
there.
alms.
We discuss ashramas there. Who can go for ashram? Which ashram?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason he stuck to the sannyasa part was several things, right? Like in the past that he said nothing would make him happy. Sorry, he didn't even want to have that even God's heaven, or
Mhm.
a unrivaled kingdom, something like that. He gets also he doesn't want that kind of. They went on describe about what the kingdom, how one. I mean, how the king has to be not have peace of mind because he's always think about who's going to fight for the land and things like that, right? And so even that for that he didn't want that. So he just want to drop everything, become sannyasa and live on the alms because he didn't want to have that fighting with his teacher and his grandfather and all the relatives.
Yeah,
Killing
and
them is
sannyasa is
not going to
part
be
of this
happy.
ashrama, four ashrama. It is for everybody at some stage.
Some stage,
Mm.
but then the taking alms is only for brahmachari and
Mm.
sannyasis.
Mm.
When
But
somebody is
here,
like,
Arjuna was trying to drop his duty and run,
right,
his
when he's
Kshatriya
a father
duty.
and grandfather and all that, he cannot taking bhiksha mm, in somebody in Gragasa's life. That's what I think it was alluded in some of that thing we read. You're right. In the ashrama, they're talking about the ashrama, right? Four ashramas is brahmachari, gragastha, and sannyasa, and
No,
no,
no.
uh,
And Vanavas, no? What is that?
Sadhu.
vanaprastha,
Vanaprastha.
vanaprastha,
Vanaprastha
vanaprastha,
and then sannyasa.
sannyasa.
In Vanaprastha is the time when you search for knowledge.
Mm.
then sannyasa. These four stages are there in everybody's life, whether you are a king or a grahastha and all doesn't matter.
Right.
We go through, actually, we should go through those four stages of life, though
We're all
activities.
in Vanaprastha now.
Hmm.
Well, it's one
Yeah.
of those things, where you trying to uh, have that relationship, right? Right now, we are all in that stage of Arjuna too. Like when he was in 70s and 80s, he's still trying to fight. Think about
And
it.
he had met all these people in the Vanaprastha seeking knowledge and all that. So he has got some experience,
Ideas
and he had supposed to have enjoyed that period of his life in the forest.
like Vyasa and all those people.
Mm. Yeah.
Uh, mm, right.
Then, so he had that desire for sannyasa.
Mm,
Then his fundamental problem was sorrow.
mm.
From from that problem, he went to the fundamental question about
Broadcasted. Uh,
relief from sadness, from sorrow.
mm,
And
fundamental problem. I think biology
what is the
always
basis for
starts
my
with that.
sorrow? That, no, can there be how do I get out of this sorrow?
Mm.
So he surrendered to Krishna, asking for knowledge.
But basis of the sorrow, again, we have to encourage ourselves, even for our own sorrows. Like if we feeling down, sad, or whatever reason, why are we doing this? Like that kind of
What is the basis for
self.
our sorrow? We must ask ourselves. When
Mm,
you're sad, it could be any reason, your health or somebody's health or something.
mm,
From there, you go trace, 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 go back, 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 and then you will find that it is because of your attachment to your body or your attachment to your family or whatever. So
mm.
that is why this sorrow is unbearable. Then you go to, ultimately you have to, when you want to become free from that sorrow, this is why Arjuna was, he wanted to be free from sorrow. So then you have to find a guru and get the knowledge of
Yeah.
the
So
moksha,
here
prayers.
that
Question was who is sad? That question, I think we have to ask. It is written
Hmm.
there. Hmm.
Yeah.
like what is like with Bhagavan Krishna, even though that's a difference. Like Arjuna, like compared to us, right? So when we are sad, it shows in our face, in our body and everything. The way he felt it, right? He totally his senses all dried up and he lost energy and totally, he sat on the chariot, dropped his bow and arrow like that. It happened to us also because of the sadness, like our
So that's when
feelings.
you get into Atma Vichara. We must
Right,
remember to get into Atma
exactly.
Vichara.
So that is where this thing comes, like the question you ask, like, why are we sad? Why you making sad yourself? Like all this body mind complex is the one going through all this. Then, then asking that question again and again, um, understanding the reason and try to. Oh, the thing I wanted to tell you is how see for the attachment, right? Because we feeling sad because we identify with ourselves with the body and mind, but like you said, attached to the relative or somebody, say my sister is not feeling well, then you feel bad also because you're not able to be there because of that attachment. But that you can be detached, but you care for them. Like that is more of what they call it as, you show the, in Tamil they say so the pasam, but not like patru. I don't know how you can say in the that in English. Like you
Yeah,
show
the
that you
same
care
thing.
about them, but then you don't get
Drop the
attached to it.
attachment, but
Mm,
keep the care.
right.
Mm.
So you care about them, but it's not like you don't have to. Um, Even though you are related, you have the family and relation, everything. Uh, so we have to have that type of life. So that is what here. So when
So
even
only
with our own
wisdom will
body
help
and
us, no?
mind.
That is where the Viveka Vairagya
Yeah,
comes.
yeah. But
We
that
with that.
the same thing, like even with our own body and mind, that's what this condition, right? Um, so when we have like feeling this pain and all this, uh, we have to be detached with our own body and mind. But at the same time, you care about this body and mind, and like that kind of stuff. What I'm thinking like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think it's time now. So shall we stop? Stop here.
Yeah, how much more to finish this lesson so that tomorrow, I don't know who can read it, but
There is Arjuna's surrender
uh,
and oh
that's
yes,
it.
very little. Should
Oh,
we
should
read?
have finished it. Yeah.
Should
Mm.
we read now Arjuna's surrender or tomorrow?
About 2 minutes maybe. You can read it.
Okay, we'll read tomorrow.
Let's see.
Arjuna's
Yeah.
surrender. I don't know who's reading tomorrow. Can read from here. This
Yeah.
is page 171. Last paragraph of 171. Arjuna's surrender.
Uh, we can put it in the chat. I think I forgot to do that. Maybe we can do it that way. Even if we are running late or something, whoever is reading has the idea.
Okay. All right. I'll put it in that group. Manana group.
171 Arjuna surrender. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's close our eyes. लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Become aware of your head. Keep your eyes open. Become aware of your head, back of your head, and gently, very slowly, close your eyes 75%. Close your eyes 50%, and then slowly 75%. Not fully. 75%. Now let your mind move inward.
Just a minute. I'll have to leave now. Can somebody take the thing? Or okay, I'll continue.
Now allow your eyes to close all by itself to 90%. Become aware of your whole body. Let go all your efforts right now. Our mind is retrieving back to the source. From the scenery onto the seer. It is you who have been seeing, hearing, smelling, and tasting this world. Right this moment, retire from all these activities. Few moments of deep stillness. Nothing to see, hear, taste, smell, or touch. This very moment. Repose in yourself. Repose in this eternal moment, in this eternal peace. Let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Another deep breath in. Oh, oh, oh. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gradually become aware of body and surrounding. And you may open your eye. Very good meditation.
Jai Gurudev.